All the discipline wasn't because I was mad or I'm angry or you broke the rules and here's what's going to happen. No, even in the discipline, I was wanting to develop relationship in the process and knowing that when God corrects them later in their life, it'll be to help their relationship. So let's go through some of these things. Go to Proverbs chapter 6. Proverbs chapter 6, the book of wisdom. And what does it say about kids? And raising and rearing children. Proverbs chapter 6. Look at verse 20. My son, keep thy father's commandment and forsake not the law of your mother. Now think about that. My son, keep your father's commandment. Notice it didn't say commandments. It said keep your father's commandment. Do you know what the commandment is? Obey. Yeah, but what about this issue? Obey. Well, what about this thing? Obey. Well, what about this thing at school? Obey. Well, yeah, but they messed up at school. How are we going to handle that? They didn't obey. It's obey, obey, obey. And what is all discipline for? Disobedience. Disobedience. Keep your commandment or the commandment of your father and the law of your mother. Bind them continually upon your heart. And tie them about your neck. When thou goest, it shall lead thee. When thou sleepest, it shall keep thee. And when thou awakest, it shall talk with thee. As a parent, I knew early I'm not going to always be in their life. I'm not always going to be there to discipline. I'm not always going to be there to define a boundary. I'm not always going to be there to explain a consequence. And so the intent throughout their formative years was to get it into their heart so that when they're away from me, it will be in their own heart and God will be able to speak to them. Verse 23 says, for the commandment is a lamp and the law is light. And reproofs of instruction are the way of life. Reproofs of instruction are the way of life. Now, the disciplining of a child, the training of the child is not just, and this is my own opinion here, I'm putting an age limit on it, because these were the formative years that, man, once I got everything that needed to get in them by these years, I saw it keep them and still see it today keeping them. From about 2 to 10, that I put the Word of God in them. I disciplined them. I chastened them. I corrected them. I instructed them. And he says, though, that the reproofs of instruction is a way of life. The discipline of a child doesn't end after 10 or after their adolescent teenage years. Can I get a witness out of adults that are in the building today that reproofs of instruction have become a way of life for us? There was a time in my life my parents did all the reproofs of instruction, but I came out from under my parents' covering and I still needed reproved in instructions. And to this day, I'm still being corrected. To this day, I'm still being reproved. To this day, I've discovered that discipline is a way of life. No one is happily married without discipline in their life. No one is successful in a career without discipline in their life. No one has accomplished anything of eternal value without discipline in their life. It becomes a way of life.